Hi, this is Ian Zepp again. This and the next few videos are going to be much more heavily focused on the technical and implementation aspects behind making these pages work the way that we want them to. So if you're not into that sort of thing, it's probably best just to skip ahead to the next group where we will get back into the UI presentation aspect a little bit more. So for right now, let's start having a look at how we've made this work the way that we want to. And first I'm going to focus on the filter criteria box. So our filter criteria box allows us to restrict the list of product sets that are displayed to only those that match text in the filter criteria. Now how does that work behind the scenes? Well, there are three main components on the view side and two methods on the controller side. So looking at the view, we have an input text that actually passes in the value of our filter criteria to the controller. Then we have two command buttons, one for filtering and one for clearing. Now the first one is mapped to a filter criteria changed page action on the controller side. The second one is mapped to a similar page action, but this clears the filter criteria. Now both of these have re-rendering attributes. Select product set is actually the ID for our entire form. So what this is saying is when you click the button, go back to the controller, refetch the data on the server side, and then come back to the view and re-render the entire view. And so during that re-rendering process, it will recalculate whether buttons should be enabled or disabled, whether there is information to display here in the related list. So if I put in a nonsensical filter, there are no results. So all of that dynamic Ajax refreshing happens because of this re-render attribute. Status specifies the action status to use when displaying the progress of the Ajax callback. So here we have a status of select product set status, which is defined on this tag. Now this tag, interestingly, wraps everything that's in the page block buttons section. So all of this stuff at the top from here to here is contained within that action status tag. Now the action status has two facets. It has a start facet and a stop facet. Start is displayed while the Ajax action is in the middle of being executed. And all that this shows is a handful of buttons, all of which are disabled, and a loading GIF image. And that's the image that circles. The stop facet displays all of the UI elements that we want to see during the normal page display. So on the controller side, when we click the filter button, it goes to a class and method called filter criteria changed. Now filter criteria changed exists here. And all this does is clear out our list of cached product sets and returns back to the view for re-rendering. That has the effect of telling the controller to reselect all of the product sets that match our filter criteria, and because during the execution of this action we set a filter criteria property, the Salesforce controller will know how to fetch an updated list. The other page action is called filter criteria cleared, and this does two things. It also clears out the product set list, so the same code process will happen, but it also erases any property value that might have existed in filter criteria. So even though when you click this button, it is technically submitting the values in the filter criteria property, the action will overwrite whatever had been set with a null value, and then during the page refresh go back and re-find all information, all related product sets.